there, and Merry Christmas. I am the Green Elf, or GE, or Sage, whatever you want to call me, I guess. I ended up recording lines but discarding them. I wasn't going to use the recorded lines in the first place, but I only did it, so I knew what I wanted to put into the video because in my last video, it felt all over the place. So here I began tracing the line work. I decided to use a green underline instead of my usual black. I thought it would fit more with the Christmassy season. Every year I have been trying to draw these elf characters. Well, I've been trying, some years I forget. I don't have names for them. Well, at least I don't think I do. I always forget if they're named or not. I really like drawing them. I've imagined personalities and the whatnot, like the girl elf I'm doing the line work for currently. She is very optimistic and bubbly. I can imagine she loves to give gifts and being around people and chatting. The boy elf, I imagine he is non-verbal, and has what I would describe to be a quiet personality. He is observant and calm. He tries to understand things from a distance, while the girl elf just jumps straight into things. So, they're basically opposites, but they work well together. I really like the girl elf's design. You'll see this later in the coloring, but I like to give her multicolored freckles, so a bit of pale green and red, but I also made her color palette bright to reflect her personality. I love to draw her short hair. She is just an adorable little guy. In the drawing, I wanted to draw them giving each other presents, but I put him too close together so I just drew the boy elf holding out this tiny little present. I don't know why I did that. I was just too lazy to move them, but I also only wanted to draw him with one arm up because I wanted his little poncho to gather at his elbow, but I also imagined the poncho is really long and goes down to his knees or something. I thought it would be cute because he's small and adorable. I ended up pulling up one of my past Christmas drawings, because it was a good design for them and I like to pull colors from it, but I don't really like the background I did for it that year. I kind of rushed that drawing, much like this one. Why? Because I'm lazy. I ended up pulling up one of my past Christmas drawings, because it was a good design for them and I like to pull colors from it, but I don't really like the background I did for it that year. I kind of rushed that drawing, much like this one. Why? Because I'm lazy. What is your favorite Christmas tradition? Personally, mine is when I'm with my family. We have a gingerbread house decorating competition. It is always chaos, and I live for it. This year I came second in the competition, haha. I'm just that cool. Now you can see I'm coloring. Like I mentioned with the girl elf, I like to give her bright colors. Earlier I mentioned she didn't have a name, but during the writing of this part, I came up with one. How about Zoe or Clarice from Rudolph? I know in different adaptations of the story the name changes, but the most known one is Clarice. I think it's a cute name. Though Clarice sounds like an old lady name, it's still pretty. It sounds too Victorian era for me. Or maybe I could name her Holly, and the boy John. I struggled to draw the stripes on the hats. To me, when things begin to twist, like patterns when they start to fold, I struggle to understand how their layout works. So, I had to fix it using shading later. I feel like with the colors I was a little bit inspired by the movie Elf, so lots of greens and the whatnot. I really liked the sage I used on his poncho. Sage is one of my favorite colors, if you couldn't tell by my name. I like how the color palettes contrast though with the characters. He has a duller red while hers is brighter, and his greens are more earthy. And instead of white he has gold. They're not opposite colors, but I just like how it changes between the characters. I love my elves, they're so adorable, they just warm my little Grinchy heart. I'm not a Grinch, I promise, but I will steal everything you love. Kidding, I promise. Topic but funny thing, whenever I'm editing these videos, my screen suddenly turns green for no reason. I don't know why. It happened in my Shadow the Hedgehog Batman video and I was worried it would show in the final product. Back to talking about the coloring, I really wanted to give the boy elf yellow sparkling eyes to get the point that they are magical elves across that, and I love yellow eyes, they're so mysterious. But the sparkles did give me a hard time. I think the girl elf may have pink or green sparkly eyes. Moving on to the bauble, I wanted to have something in the background, but I didn't know what to draw. Last year I had a snowy forest, so this year I wanted something else. I jumped back and forth between having a design on the bauble or not. The bauble actuality gave me a hard time with the shading, especially the top of it with the little loop. I then moved on to picking the background look. I jumped between lots of ideas. I originally wanted a pink background, but I didn't like how it looked, so I tried orange and nope, didn't look good. I eventually settled on a background with little pine trees all over. It reminds me of wrapping paper. I literally just kept duplicating and merging the layers together to make the look. I'm not sure if it's symmetrical. I also gave the background a bit of depth with a foggy look. And that is the finished drawing. I hope you have a Merry Christmas if you celebrate it. Have a good one. Bye.